Hello and welcome. It's the chat. I am Manny. In a moment, you'll be face to face with my guest on the program. He is the king on the hill.
His Royal Highness Alhaji Dr. Usman Kupi is a geographer, an administrator, a teacher, and a Sapei of Garki in the Federal Capital Territory. He attained his primary education in Garki in the 60s. He holds a degree in geography and history, a master's degree in political science, and an honorary doctorate of humanitarian services. After school, he became a school teacher and rose to the position of head teacher. He left the teaching profession when he became the Sapei of Garki in 1990, making him the 17th paramount ruler of Garki Kingdom, called the King on the Hill, representing the Gbagi people. The Gbagi people are the original settlers of Pei, now Garki, and pay allegiance to the Sapei as the head, who appoints among them a leader as the Sarkin Hausawa. His Royal Highness Alhaji Dr. Usman Kupi is married to 4 wives and has 16 children.
Dr. Usman,
Yes.
welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
When I call you the king on the hill, does it make sense?
Yes, it makes sense.
Okay, so but you are the current Sapei.
Yes, I'm the current Sapei.
You know, and you have been on this throne for 30 or over 30 years?
Since 1st June 1990, I ascended the throne of the kingdom.
Tell me, where were you coming from? Where were the people on the hill coming from? I mean, you settled here in
Yes.
Garki. Where did you come from initially?
Yeah, if you look holistically about the history of Gbagi ethnic, Gbagi came from northeastern part of Nigeria, from our town even traced to Middle East, then moved down to Borno Empire. Then that is Borno State.
Mm-hmm.
There, and then moved down to the central area of Nigeria and resided within the Zaria.
Were you in bushes when you were moving? Were you, what kind of movement was this?
A Gbagi person is an industrial person. So he looked for an area whereby he be able to earn his living. And then there were farmers as well as hunters. So eventually, the Gbagi man decided to move, and my people start to move within the Zaria Emirate. They passed the Kakariko area through Jere Aziz, and then settled within the Shipe area.
Where is Shipe today?
Shipe is within Upape area axis.
Okay.
Upape axis. Settled down to another area here within the axis of Karo, which is now around Maraba area. Then finally moved down to this hill at the legislative quarters. You can see one hill there. We have one radio house there. What I'm saying, at that material time, it was a thick forest. And this hill and forest served as a defensive mechanism for our founding fathers. In those days, there was an Tatarba war, there was slavery. So that hill served as a defensive area. They could be able to evade any enemy that will come. And as a result of that, some Hausa raiders were always coming to fight our people, maybe to get some of them to sell for slaves. So as soon as they are able to get them, they were able to respond to them. And then as they were coming, all the time, our people were able to defeat the Hausa raiders. So they now said, this settlement, one Nangari, that is on Hausa, Ta Gagarachi, this settlement is unconquerable. And that is how we come and arrive, and the name was shortened to Garki. You cannot see the name. You cannot see.
Okay, Garki means unconquerable?
Unconquerable. Dagari Tagagarachi. That settlement is unconquerable.
But this Garki you're talking about has been in existence for over 300 years.
Yes.
And there have been successive kings.
Yes, we have a successful king.
I'm thinking over 30 years ago,
yes,
while you were here, you know, had your education in Garki,
yes,
news must have come to you that the federal government at that time wanted to take over your territory and make it the federal capital territory. What was, you know, your feeling like? What came to your mind the first time
well, let me,
you heard the news?
My dear, let me just tell you, even before I sent this throne, the time that the new federal capital was created, I was still a student.
So what was going on in your mind at that time?
Well, you see, we were wondering that how is it going to be realized? And what was going to be, we were asking ourselves, what was going to be our own fate? Because the federal government had already earlier mentioned during the late Murtala Mohammed, he said all the indigenous people, inhabitants, they were going to be resettled outside to their various states.
Okay, but you knew you were going to be displaced.
Yes,
anyway.
we know we are going to be displaced.
Yeah.
You understand? So, and the federal government have brought a policy that whoever who wants to remain should remain. Those who want to move, they should move out. And that's why we now say that we have also Asokoro now. They have moved down to Niger. We have, we say, they have moved out to Niger, which we have New Say now. We have Asokoro now. So all these areas, we were part and parcel. So, but they decided to say they will move. We said, no, we are not going. We will remain here.
So Garki has been in this same spot
Yes,
for over 200 years.
Yes.
Now, let's even look at the development projects that have taken over some areas. I understand that where the Nikon Hotel is today used to be a certain community for certain people.
Yes.
Who were those that
within
were
that
residents
axis,
there?
we were having Maitama. You must have been hearing Maitama, who have now moved to Kupa now. They were the people living within those axes. So we were told that we decided to remain within the federal capital territory. They say, if any development catch up with us, they could move us to somewhere else within the FCT, which we all agree. And that is why within that axis, once that Nikon was built, and the Maitama people who are living within that axis, they were resettled outside to Kubwa. And at this moment, now like this Abiola, Mashood Abiola Stadium, it was also a settlement called Kukwaba. They were also resettled in Kubwa.
When El-Rufai was FCDA minister,
Yes.
he wasn't your friend, was he?
Well, Rufai, at this stage, we were friends.
You have settled your scores now.
Yes, I will let you know. While we started having some little challenge between me and him, Rufai, immediately he assumed duty. I said, let me just go and say hello to him. And I remember vividly when I went and met him, I carried a friend of mine. It was around 4, after 4. And I greeted him. I introduced myself to him. Sir, are you the king of Garki? I said, yes. Yes, I have heard that you are very stubborn.
Are you?
I'm not. I responded, I'm not stubborn.
So what did you tell him?
I told him I'm not
respond
stubborn.
to him?
I told him I'm not stubborn. But I know that my directors would polish me to be a stubborn person. I say, where justice and fairness is not done, then I become stubborn. That was my response.
And what did he say?
He said, I'm just joking. I said, okay, no problem. We sat. So we have a formal introduction. Then when he wanted to, he commenced his project. And he said,
in the next 5 or 10 years, where do you see Garki in terms of development?
well, when we're talking of development, it could be physical development, it could be human development. In the area of human development, I foresee by Garki Kingdom, there will be human development to some extent, because our younger ones, our children, our grandchildren are not.
You mean more schools are developing?
Schools are being developed. You understand? Yeah? You understand?
Hospitals?
Then hospitals are there. You understand? But our challenge is in physical infrastructure, because our people are yet to be attended to. Identity mentioned, like Kutako, Guadampa, Mabushi, to mention but few. Nothing has been done much to improve on their infrastructure. So, if something is not done, I do say, we don't want Abuja of yesterday, or the capital city of yesterday to repeat itself. What am I saying? What transpired there in Lagos, when we used to have a jungle there, as I used to have, we don't want to have it here, because if this infrastructure are not being provided with this existing settlement, then there will be so many slums. And I just said, Nigeria being the giant of Africa, and Abuja serving as eyes and ears of Nigeria, I wouldn't be happy. We live with the international community. I will not be comfortable, and I will not be comfortable. Maybe they can now slap me area and say this, the new federal capital city.
Do you see a possibility of a governor in Abuja someday?
We have been arguing that Abuja is too big. There's nothing wrong if maybe the FCC is being carved out, and then so that we can have these normal structures in the state that's applicable in Abuja. Take for instance, when we're asking, like, we will have a senator. If you look at the population, there's a lot of the population is flourishing now in FCT. When we're requesting for 3 senators, we're not saying only indigenous people are the ones. Whoever who decide, you could even contest for the senator.
Really?
You understand? So when we're agitating or we're requesting for 3 senators on additional House of Rep, we're not saying only indigenous people are the ones to benefit. But to some people who are meritic, they foresee that we are only demanding the indigenous people, which is not so. Like I remember my former House of Rep member was San Iboma Okachuku. You understand? My former Senator Maina was also a senator. They are not indigenous. So when we are demanding for all these additional other area council, House of Rep, senator, we are not saying only the original habitant. Where we are saying whoever who resides in the FCT, he or she are entitled for this position.
Pick a question.
Okay. I would have asked you to choose one for me.
No. It's your luck. Okay, so read the question.
The question is saying the culture of the original indigenes of FCT is disappearing. What is your reaction regarding this?
You like the question?
Yes, beautiful. What? My dear brother, without not being told, man globally is identified by his culture, norms and value, and his custom. That's the only thing that differentiates man. You're an Igbo man, you have your culture, you have your tradition, and your values. Likewise, a Gbagi person, likewise a Hausa man, likewise, whatever his name, is the only thing that differentiates that. And the question you have asked is the reality. Yes, the culture, the norms and value and custom are going. Why? Without not being told, you know, as our Nigerians, international communities have even overwhelmed the indigenous people. I know man is not an island. We interact with other Nigerians, with their culture, norms and value. Even the type of food, which is one key actor, that man is being known. People, even the younger ones now, they don't even want to go take our local food. Even today, the young people, what we are discussing, how we have to promote the language, the culture, norms and values. That's what we are discussing. Because we know the question you have just asked, I'm just trying to answer now, we realize and discover that the language, if not taken care, being the custodian of the people, then tomorrow there will be extinction of that ethnic. You understand? So we are trying to see how we are going to promote. One, encouraging the younger one, even trying to see how this thing could be inculcated in our various schools, primary to secondary school. So the question you ask actually is affecting us negatively. But being the custodian of the people, two of us were here, the traditional rulers within the FCT, we are supposed to be 5. But we were chatting, we were trying to see how we are going to promote and try not to see how we can assist ourselves, assist the younger one, because Posad will never forgive us.
What do you like most about Nigeria?
What I like in Nigeria most, if not today, Nigeria will love ourselves.
You think so?
Yes.
So what do you say to those who are calling for a breakup of the country?
Even within a unit of families, they have a problem, but they address it. So when we are talking about a population of over 200 million, it's not an easy task to manage. But rather our advice and call that all these challenges are man-made. And being man-made, we will be able to manage these challenges. We sit down, have a round table. What are these challenges? We identify them. Then we see what are the way out. What are the solutions?
In your personal opinion,
yes.
What is one of the main challenges we are facing in this country?
You don't need to be told. Insecurity.
When you talk about insecurity,
yes.
Right?
Yes.
Most fingers point at traditional rulers, that they harbor a lot of the criminals.
I don't agree with that.
Why?
Yes. 99.5%.
Wow.
One-year community leader.
That's almost 100%.
Almost 100% will not accommodate and will not harbor a criminal.
What do you think, the country can do to tackle insecurity then?
I have been saying it, that it is advisable for both the government and the bourgeoisie, those who have the means, we should invest in this country. I have to commend the government of today, especially in the area of agri-sector, if not because of this bandit. So we need to diversify the economy of this country, whereby the younger one, the youth, could be carefully employed. So what am I saying? All hands have to be on deck. We need to join hands with the government. We are all Nigerians. We are all stakeholders.
Traditional rulers, what would you say to them, including yourself?
Well, as the royal fathers, we should also take note. They were the custodian of the people, the cultural norms and value, that we should have to remind our people that, let me just tell you something that you might not believe me. You know, we are chasing the shadow, leaving the reality. What am I saying? We are now deciding to go with the life of the white so-called developed nations, which have led to the destruction of lives, led to the issue of our culture, norms and values, because most of our norms and values are no more there. The respect is no more there. So it is not left for we, as a traditional institution, to speak to our subject, to see that we need to co-op, and the government also have to come into assist, so that all these norms and values are respected, and the government should respect the traditional institution. What am I saying? If you cannot, we have been just agitating. There should be what? There should be a role spelled out within the Constitution. Am I communicating?
Yes.
Take for instance, the people who colonized us, that is the British, they have their prime minister, but they give that respect. The Queen of England, because she have a role to play. They respect her, and I'm sure in the Constitution is also spelled out. So if they are the who colonize us and they respect that Constitution, why can't we have that Constitution being reflected? Which I'm sure, I might understand, the government today, and they are trying their possibility to see that this thing is being reflected. We hope before they leave, the Constitution they are amending, our role should be spelled out there.
Supposing you were made to go to an island, on holiday.
Okay.
Yeah? And you're asked to take only 5 items with you.
My clothes?
Yep.
Maybe I took some drugs which I think I could use.
Your medication?
My medication.
Okay.
Thirdly, my shoes.
Okay.
They're very important. What do you call it? Toothpaste. Very important.
Yeah.
So,
what else?
The communication.
Your phone.
Because I have to communicate.
Okay. Tell me one wish you have for Nigeria.
What I wish Nigeria is that, one, we should all respect ourselves as Nigerians. 2, we should also respect the constitutional authority, whoever being the leader. We should respect him. We should try all we could to agree with ourselves as one family.
You are married.
Yes, I'm married.
With 4 wives.
Yes.
You have a large family.
Yes, I have a large family.
Do you know the number of children?
Yes, why not?
How many?
Well, I have about 16 children.
60?
16.
Oh, from 4 wives?
Yes.
That's not a bad effort.
Okay, thank you very much. But I'm trying to have more.
Oh, really?
Don't want me to?
Are you that strong enough?
Why not?
So His Royal Highness, Dr. Usman Kupi. Yes. It's been a pleasure having you on the program.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for affording us the opportunity.
Thank you very much for coming to this reputable palace.
Long may you live.
Thank you very much.
It's been the chat this week. I am Manny. See you next time. The Chat is produced by Channels Television. You can watch it again online. Just visit our social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook.